Oh, here's a story that burst a bubble in the whole Russiagate conspiracy theory. Let's go down here. Russia told the United States on Tuesday to drop what it called provocative plans to deploy more troops to the Middle East and to seize actions that looked like a conscious attempt to provoke war with Iran. The comments from Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei, I don't know how to pronounce his name, to Russian news agencies followed an announcement from acting U.S. Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan a day earlier, who said Washington planned to send around 1,000 more troops to the Middle East for defense purposes. Now, this was actually announced yesterday that the U.S. is going to send another 1,000 troops to the Middle East. I was going to do a video on that, but in this story, I just think this particular position is more interesting than, hey guys, 1,000 troops are being sent to Iran or to the Middle East. So that's why I'm doing this. President Hassan Rouhani, for those who don't know, that's the Iranian president, said on Tuesday that Iran would not wage war against any nation, and the Kremlin called for restraint from all sides. Well, it looks like Iran's exercising restraint rather. Rubadov told reporters that Moscow had repeatedly warned Washington and its regional allies about what he called the unthinking and reckless pumping up of tensions in an explosive region. I have to say that's pretty true. It's reckless and unthinking. We should just call the U.S. policy toward all these countries reckless and unthinking. Now what we see are unending and sustained U.S. attempts to crank up political, psychological, economic, and yes, military pressure on Iran to quite a provocative way. These actions cannot be assessed as anything but a conscious course to provoke war. Rubadov was cited as saying, I'm trying to like this guy, even if I can't pronounce his name, if Washington did not want war, it had to show it, he said. If that's really how it is, then the U.S. should step back from reinforcing its military presence, said Rybkov. So, name errors and pronunciations mistakes aside, this is correct. I agree with this Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia. The U.S., and you know what kills me, right, is that you're still going to have people who go online and they try to say, Trump is tied to Russia, yada, yada, yada. I said, look, be that as it may, whether you believe Trump was knowledgeable of their, interference in the election, this is not a Trump-supported position. Like, if you're anti-Trump, you should love what this deputy foreign minister said. He's literally saying, and it's not even just anti-Trump because the same policy was, not exercised by Obama, at least in the last couple of years of his tenure because of the Iran deal. But you get the point that U.S. being hostile toward Iran goes back. So if you're not hostile toward them, and if you want to be on the side of, anti the current man in the White House, this is really the way to go. And just to think that this is, we're not talking about somewhere like, let's say, what's a good example? Iraq or Libya, where it's just a place that they decided to mess with. We're talking about Iran, is Israel's arch nemesis. So like, this position is all the more telling of just how other countries do not see Israel and Saudi Arabia in the same way that the U.S. does, where they're waiting hand and foot and willing to go and start these conflicts with places that that one particular other country doesn't like. I love this so much. Even if it's not my own politician, this is a good position, and it's true.